स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of science of worship. Last time we were discussing about the particular step, that is the Devata Puja Dravya Shuddhihi. Devata, last time we did that. Devata Puja Dravyadi Shuddhihi. Devata Puja Dravyadi Shuddhihi. I had given a detailed account of all that step, which means purification of deity and articles of worship. I'll just revise it a little and then we will go forward. Uttering the mantra Om Aim Phat, sprinkle some water 3 times on the deity picture or image as well as on the articles of worship. Then show Dhenu Mudra. So the Dhenu Mudra has been shown there in the picture. That is it is just like the udder of the cow, the Kamadhenu. And we have to tell the Varuna Bija Mantra Vam and think that whatever that Dhenu Mudra is shown on will become nectar-like, nectarine. Varuna Bija Mantra and the Dhenu Mudra shown will make all the objects nectarine. So Amrutikarana, this is all Amrutikarana. So what is the meaning of Amrutikarana? Nectar-like is Amruta. Mruta means death. Amruta means that which is without death or destruction. That means consciousness or Atman. To see God, to see Atman, to see consciousness in all the objects is the aim of the purification. That is the meaning of purification. So sprinkling the sacred water and then uttering the mantra and then showing the Dhenu Mudra, our mind will be again and again given the suggestion and it will be made to think that it is not ordinary metal, copper or the image which is made out of stone or photo or particular object, but we will start seeing, looking through it to see the original nature, that is consciousness or Atman in it. So that is the meaning of this Devata Puja Dravyadi Shuddhihi, purification. That is the process of purification of the deity and articles. Now we are coming into the process, the next step, that is Mantra Shuddhihi, purification of the mantra. Mantra Shuddhihi, that is the next step. Mantra Shuddhihi, purification of the mantra. So I request you to repeat the name of the step so that the pronunciation will be correct. So we have given the name of that Mantra Shuddhi and the spelling is there in English because many people will not know Sanskrit. So we have given it in English. So you should also learn the correct pronunciation. So I will repeat it. Please repeat after me. Mantra Shuddhi. So what is the spelling there? M-A-N-T-R-A. Mantra. Then Shuddhi. S-H-U-D-D-H-I. Shuddhi. Because that word has the first word the, then the second word in the consonant is Mahaprana. We are using a little more energy than the usual. See, when we utter the, it is just little energy or the lung force. When you tell dha, it is more energy. That's why it's called Mahaprana. Prana means energy or power. So here the and the. So that the and the both are used. It's called Sanyuktakshar or Yuktakshar. Two words joined together. That's why that becomes DDHI. Shuddhi. The first the and the both are there together. So Shuddhi and also Ikara. The vowel E is also joined together. The two consonants the and the vowel E together it becomes dhi. So it should be stressed like that. So mantra shuddhi, that is the pronunciation. Okay, you have learned the pronunciation, and I have also given you the correct spelling there. mantrashuddhi, meaning purification of the mantra. Okay, what is the meaning of mantra? Mantra, the explanation in Sanskrit is mananat trayate. So there are one single syllabled bija mantra. So that is a seed mantra syllable, just if it is one letter. Then if there are more letters, 2 or 3, then there will be another type of mantra. Then 5 to 6, 7 letters joined together make another type of mantra. There are different types of mantras. So what is the meaning of mantra? Mananat trayate. So as I told you, there is a Panchakshari mantra, Ashtakshari mantra. So for Shiva it is Om Namah Shivaya. For Vishnu it is uh, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. For Krishna, like that there are different mantras. So Mula mantra, Bijakshara, Bija mantra, like the different mantras are there based on the number of letters used in it. So now, what is the meaning of mantra? In Sanskrit it is told, Mananat Trayate iti mantraha. When you chant or when you repeat those single letter or group of letter, knowing the meaning of it, then it will protect you. Mananat, by meditating on that or chanting that, trayate, it will protect you. So that is called mantra. So that is the meaning of mantra. So now the very irony or the surprising thing is, by repeating the mantra it is going to protect you and purify you. But here we are trying to purify the mantra itself. So it is a purification of the mantra itself. Mantra, chanting of the mantra, whether it is Om or the Bija mantras, so many Bija mantras are there for different deities. The seeds, the single syllable seed mantra is called Bija mantra. Bija means seed. So then there may be multi-lettered mantras, as I told you, Ashtakshari, Panchakshari, then different Mula mantras. So like that there are so many group of things. So repeating that mantra, you will be purified, your body and mind will be purified. I think in the Achmana you might have noted, by telling the name of the Lord, the mantra, or the what do you call, telling the name of the deity, then your mind, both internally and externally, whichever state you are in, will be purified. What is that shloka? Do you remember in the what do you call Achamana, Samanya Arghya? During before Samanya Arghya and after Achmana, we do the process of telling in the Achmana, repeating the name of Vishnu 3 times. Om Vishnu, Om Vishnu, Om Vishnu. Then Tad Vishnu, Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suryaha Divi Chakshuratatam. So after that, what do we tell? Om Apavitraha Pavitrova. You may be pure or impure. Pavitro Apavitraha Pavitrova. Sarva Avasthangatoppiva. Whatever state of mind you may be in. What are the 3 states? Now we are in the waking state. Then when we go to sleep, we will be in the dream state. Then after that, we will go to deep sleep state. So all these are the 3 states. What are they? Waking, which we are now. Then when you go to sleep, there are two states, that is sleep, dreaming, and after that there is another when you go to deep sleep, sushupti. So these are the 3 states. So whichever state you may be in, waking or dreaming or deep sleep. So yahasmaret, whoever repeats the name of the Lord, Pundarikaksham, the Lord who is having the eyes like that, the lotus, like the petals of the lotus, Pundarika Aksham. If anybody, whoever it might be, in whichever condition, if he repeats the name of the Lord, then what will happen? Sa, he, Bahya, externally, Abhyantaraha, internally, Shuchihi, purified. So if you utter the name of the Lord with Om, or without just the name of the Lord, will purify you internally and externally. So that is the reason why we are chanting mantra. So with Om and with Bija mantra, we repeat the name. So that is the reason we purify our body and mind externally, internally, whatever state we are in. But here, the term is mantra shuddhi. The mantra which is used for the purification, which will protect us by repeating or meditating on that, itself is to be purified. So, doesn't it look very funny, giving the opposite meaning? Yeah. So, let us see what is that mantra shuddhi. Here, see, there are repeating the, I will go through the process now, mantra shuddhi, purification of the mantra, then you will understand it better. Repeat the bija mantra, that is I'm. So we have given that I'm, you all know that I'm, that is the Saraswati's bija mantra. It is also the bija mantra of the Guru. It is also the single syllable or seed mantra of pure consciousness, that is Parabrahma, pure consciousness, Atman. So I'm. We had told you the pronunciation, the English letters used are generally AIM. It may become like aim. So it's not aim. Many people in the Western world, they pronounce it as aim. It is not aim. It is I'm. I plus yum. I'm. Or at the most, it can become, it can go and stay in the nose. I'm. That's all. So when the next letter is of the pavarga, then it becomes I'm. Or when it is the end of it, if it comes at the end of a sentence, then you have to do that makara, I'm. Otherwise, the original state of pronouncing is you should end in the nose. So it is I'm. In some portion of the country, they will use G. That is also wrong. It's not ing. It can't be the, it should just go and stay in the nose. Ing. That's all. That is the nasal, anunasika, nasal sound. So I'm, if it is ending, then it is becomes I'm. Or if the original pronunciation is I'm. So now you have to add this particular bija mantra, the single mantra, single seed mantra, the single syllable of Saraswati or Guru or pure consciousness, that is Atman. What should be done? Repeat the bija mantra I'm with all the letters of the Sanskrit alphabets juxtaposed on either side. Now there are 14 vowels. Then there are 25 Vargiya Vyanjana, the consonants. And whatever we are not putting it to groups, they are called Avargiya Vyanjana. The Vargiya Vyanjana, or which has been grouped together based on the pronunciation and the prayatna, that's called Vargiya Vyanjana. Ka ka ga ga nga cha cha ja ja nya ta ta da da na ta ta da da na pa pa ba ba ma. These are all the 25 Vargiya Vyanjana which has been grouped. There are some which are not grouped. What are they? Ya, ra, la, va, sha, sha, sa, ha. So these are all the Avargiya Vyanjana. Ya, ra, la, va, sha, sha, sa, ha, la. So these are the Avargiya Vyanjana. So totally it is 15 alphabets are there. The vowels, the consonants. So in Sanskrit, it's the most scientific language because all these are based on the vowels and the vyanjanas. They are so nicely grouped together based on the pronunciation where they take their origin. So just like, for example, kavarga, shavarga, tavarga, tavarga, pavarga. Now pa, when you have to tell pa, you need lips. Without the pronunciation of the lips, without the touching of the lips, you cannot tell pa. So that is called pavarga, papa, baba, ma. So they are called ostavya. So that means which originates from the lips. Then other thing, jihva muliya. Then we have the murdhanya, which when the tongue touches the upper portion of the mouth, that is called murdhanya, just like sha. Then with the help of the teeth, it's called dantavya. As I told now, with the help of if the alphabets originates from the lips, it is called ostavya, dantavya, jihvamuliya. Like that, the alphabets are divided based on their origin in the mouth. So now there is another type. where the how much of prayatna, abhyantara prayatna, how much of effort you put. Based on that, it would divide. For example, now how much of prayatna are you putting that? Suppose the vowels there, we take less time, 1 unit of time. Unit of time, the lowest unit of time in the grammar, it is called matra. So if it is 1 unit, that is one matra, then it becomes rasva. If it is 2 units, it is called, that is two matras, it is dirgha. For example, a is 1 unit, a is 2 unit. Then suppose you elongate it further. If the time used is more than 2 units, two matras, more, that is three and more, it becomes pluta. Example, a, 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 that is pluta. So hrasva, dirgha and pluta. Then there is another way of seeing the consonants. That is, how much of lung power are you using? If it is less lung power, it is called as alpa prana. Alpa means little. Prana means the power you are using, the lungs. So alpa prana will be, for example, one I'll take ka, ka. See, then you use more power to pronounce it. It's called mahaprana. Kha, ka, kha, more lung power, more prana. So it's called mahaprana. So like that, the whole letter is based on how much of power we used, what is the prayatna, what is the position. So based on that, the whole alphabet is divided so scientifically. So Sanskrit is the most suitable language for computers. So all that advantages are there. And another, phonetics. Whatever we write there or tell, that letter will be pronounced as it is. For example, in French and English and other languages, German, there will be so much of silence, and whatever you may write something and you may tell something. So you may CUT, it becomes cut, PUT is become put. So like that, you have to go on changing. It is all based on your imagination so many times. So now the Americans are changing English, like whatever it is pronounced, they want to write it also like that with the spelling. So but it has not become yet scientific. It will take a long time. But if you want to see a scientific language, you have to see Sanskrit. So it is based on everything, reason and rhyme, so beautifully arranged. So now, while we are chanting all these things, what are we to do? We have to juxtapose all the alphabets, Sanskrit alphabets, the 50, with Aim. So Aim is the Bija mantra of consciousness, pure consciousness, or Saraswati, or Guru. So how to purify the mantras? The purification of the alphabets. That means while you are repeating, you will be repeating all the alphabets here of that group. To shorten it, we will do it only the representative letter of each of the classes, vargas, the swara and vyanjana. In that there are different vargas, kavarga, chavarga, tavarga, tavarga, pavarga, and the vargiya vyanjana. One or two letters will be done, so that you will get the pronunciation right. The mouth opens up, the pronunciation faculty will be energized. When you join that with the pure consciousness, or Saraswati, or the Guru Bija Mantra, then it will be divinized. So that is the process here. I will repeat it again. Repeat the Bija Mantra. Now Ain, with all the letters of the Sanskrit alphabet juxtaposed on either side alternatively. Only the representative letter of each of the classes vargas may be used as detailed below. Now it is given there in this thing. What are the thing? Ang, Aing, Ang. In South India it pronounced as Aim, In Bengal it is pronounced as Ang, Aing, Ang. So Ang, Aing, Ang. In South India it is Aim, So that is all by repeating that you are repeating or telling all the swaras, 14 letters there. Then in the Vargiya Vyanjana, the ka, you need not tell ka, ka, ga, ga, nga, all the things. One letter representing that. What is that kavarga? Kam or kang, aing, kang. Then chavarga, chang, aing, chang. Then tavarga, tang, aing, tang. Then the tavarga, tang, aing, tang. Pam, pang, aing, pang. Then yang, that is the avargiya vyanjana, yang, aing, yang. Shang, aing, shang. So now you have energized, you have opened up all the faculty of telling the mantras, the pronunciation correctly. So now all your faculty of telling the pronunciation, the different mantra correctly has been energized now. You have activated all that. So now you will pronounce all the mantras correctly. So that has been done. Now you have juxtaposed Aim or Bija mantra with all the letters to purify it. Now the alphabets are purified. Now while repeating about this alphabet, we have to go a little further and see why it is done. What is the speciality of these letters? You know that all the letters are called Matruka Varna. Why does it get the name Matruka? Let us go and see what is this Matruka Varna. The explanation has been given. So I'll just tell you about Matruka Varna. By Matruka are meant the alphabets of Sanskrit language. Why? Why is it called Matruka? Because they represent the deities represented by them. Each alphabet, each Matruka, just like I told, all that 14 and ka, ka, ga, 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 and up to that pa, 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 ma, then yara, lava, shasha, sa, all the 50 letters, they represent different deities, different gods and goddesses. So it originates from Mother Saraswati. The root of all these Matruka Varnas are from Saraswati. So they represent different goddesses. All the letter they represent different gods or goddesses. So each letter is in itself representing a deity. So that's why it gets the name Matruka, are meant the alphabets of the Sanskrit language, and the deities, they also represent the deities represented by them. So when we are doing Nyasa, the consecration in the puja, we try to preserve those letters in different parts of the body so that that god or goddess will be consecrated there in that part of the body or the hands. So the power enshrined in the alphabet is enormous. The power enshrined in all the alphabets, each alphabet is enormous. It is known as Matruka. Why is all the alphabets are called Matruka? Because all other powers are generated from its womb. The power of the alphabets are enormous. They are representing Mother Saraswati. They originate from Saraswati. That's why we call Saraswati as Vagdevi. All the letters, they originate from her. She is the origin of all the sounds, all the letters, all the alphabets. So each alphabet represent one deity. Now it is known as Matruka because all the other powers are generated from its womb. So each letter or alphabets, the power enshrined in the alphabet is enormous. So that's why we are in the purification process, we are energizing all those things. When juxtaposed or you join that with Aim, it becomes divinized. Now even in the letters, even in all the alphabet, we are trying to see the Paramatma Swarupa, Atma Swarupa. In itself, they represent different deities. We go still higher to see only consciousness. We do that, juxtaposing that, that is, it is given there. Aim, come, Aim, come. So you are sandwiching Aim between those two letters, repeating that, juxtaposing between that Aim. So now the mantra is becoming purified. You are now associating all those things with Paramatman or Atman or consciousness. Now I have told you the significance of this mantra Shuddhi and the details of this Matruka Varna or alphabets. So it is originating from Mother Saraswati. Every letter or alphabet represents a deity and it has enormous energy in it, and it is a source of all energies. That's why the womb, it comes from that womb, it is called Matruka. It gets the name Matruka. We have come to know about all these alphabets in Sanskrit, and I've also explained how it is having that phonetics, and it comes, the origin, the pronunciation is so perfect in Sanskrit language. So if you pronounce, just utter all the alphabets itself, it will purify your tongue, it will purify your body, it will purify your mind. That is the speciality of Sanskrit language. So now we will learn the proper process of doing this. Mantra Shuddhi. Repeat the Bija Mantra Aim with all the letters of the Sanskrit alphabet juxtaposed on either sides. Alternatively, only the representative letter of each of the classes Vargas may be used as detailed below. Now I will make you chant. Please repeat the mantra. Ang, Aing, Ang. Kang, Aing, Kang. Chang, Aing, Chang. Tang, Aing, Tang. Tang, Aing, Tang. Pang, Aing, Pang. Yang, Aing, Yang. Shang, Aing, Shang. Now that is the way to pronounce the mantras. In South India, they will make it easy by adding ma everywhere. Aim, Kang, Aim, Kam. Cham, Aim, Cham. Tam, Aim, Tam. Tam, Aim, Tam. Pum, Aim, Pum. Yum, Aim, Yum. Sham, Aim, Sham. So now I have given all that in English too. I think you have practiced that, how to pronounce. Now we'll go to the another aspect. We have done so much of Shuddhi, purification or filtering. All that Devata, Puja, Dravyadi Shuddhi, Antariksha, Vigna Nivaranam, all that things are Shuddhi. Mantra Shuddhi, Dwar Devata Shuddhi, everything Shuddhi, Shuddhi, purification. So let us go in detail, because we have completed that Shuddhi. We will go in detail and find out why do we do that Shuddhi. Okay. I will just give you the details of why we do that Shuddhis. So in the process of Shuddhi, just now we did Mantra Shuddhi. In the process of the Shuddhi, it's called, so many Shuddhis were done. Asana Shuddhi, Mantra Shuddhi, then Devata Dravyadi Shuddhi, then what you call Bhumi Shuddhi. So we have to give a detailed description of what is the Shuddhi, purification. So it is called Pancha Shuddhi, 5 different types of purification. The 5-fold purification. Purification, Shuddhi or Shodhanam, is an indispensable part of worship. Purification is simply the restoring of a thing to its original real nature. Could you get the meaning of this? Here in puja, in worship and spiritual matters, purification is an indispensable part of worship. Purification is simply the restoring of a thing to its own real nature. Purification is simply the restoring of a thing to its own real nature. What is the real nature of everything? It is Atma Swarupa, or consciousness or awareness, Parabrahma Swarupa, God. So taking back everything to its real nature is the purification. That's what we are divinizing it. Purification is simply the restoring of a thing to its own real nature. By nature, everything is God, Brahman, pure consciousness, awareness, Atma Swarupa. By nature, everything is Brahman. The form in which it appears to us is really a superimposed form. What we see in this world, external world and internal world, is all just the form in which it appears to us is really a superimposed form. Purification removes this superimposition and reinstates the thing to its own nature. Purification, the process we did, all these things, so many purification we did. Purification removes the superimposition and reinstates the thing to its own nature, which is consciousness or Brahman. A fivefold purification is enjoined in worship at the very outset. Panchashuddhi is the purification of the following five components: the worshipper, we are the worshippers, one who does the worship. So he is purified. How is it purified? The worshipper is purified. The place in which we worship is purified. The mantra which we chant is purified. The ingredients of worship is purified, and the deity which we are going to worship and the articles with which we are going to worship, everything is purified. No worship becomes fruitful without this fivefold purification. Worship is a divine act, and therefore importance is given to the divine aspects of everything. It is the divine aspect of a thing that is always considered. Purification is meant to make even an ordinary object useful for spiritual practice. Purification is meant to make even an ordinary object useful for spiritual practice by the power of the mantra. It is only the divine aspect of a purified object that assumes importance in the mind of the sadhaka. Sadhaka means spiritual aspirant. Thus, the scriptures ordain that all these, what are all the things? The fivefold purification. Thus, the scriptures ordain that all these: the worshipper, the worshipped, the article used for worship, the place of worship, and the mantra be looked upon as divine. That is the process of purification. We have got the significance of all this purification, Shuddhi, because now we did all these five types of Shuddhis, different Shuddhis. What are they? The Bhumi Shuddhi, the Asana Shuddhi, the Kara Shuddhi, so the Mantra Shuddhi, so many Shuddhis we did. So I gave you an explanation of what is this Shuddhi and what is the significance behind that. Now, one more thing, how to do the Atma Shuddhi, that is our own. How to do this? Worshipper should be purified. What is that? Atma Shuddhi, purification of the worshipper. Here Atma means my body, my mind, my ego, my intelligence, all those things, memory. So that's called Atma Shuddhi. Purification of the worshipper includes the ceremonial bath. We take bath, the physical purification, then Bhuta Shuddhi, Pranayama, and Nyasa, etc. consecration. By that we do the Atma Shuddhi, cleaning the place of worship. Wherever we sit and worship, that room is to be cleaned, swept, mopped, and everything. Then decorating it with flowers, burning incense, and lighting the lamp, etc. comprises Sthana Shuddhi, purification of the worship room. Chanting the Mula mantras, the basic mantra pertaining to a particular deity, as prescribed, constitutes Mantra Shuddhi, purification of the mantras. Sprinkling water on the articles of worship with the chanting of the appropriate mantra and showing the mudras are parts of Dravya Shuddhi, purification of the articles of worship. Sprinkling water on the deity, the sacred water on the deity, with the chanting of the prescribed mantra is called Devata Dravya Shuddhi. Purification of the worshipped, the deities. By this fivefold purification, the worshipper, the worshipped, the article of worship, the mantra, and the place of worship becomes divine, which really is their true nature. So now we have come to know the significance of this Shuddhi, all the different five types of Shuddhis. Now we did also the removal of evil spirits or obstacles. What is that? Bhutapasarana or Vignapasarana. So Bhuta Apasarana, we did that also process. We will see what is the significance of that. In order that the worship and the various observances connected with it may be performed smoothly and without any obstacles, and in order that the external world made of Panchabhutas, the five elements, may not present any hindrances, one prays at the very outset that all the evil spirits be either dismissed or destroyed by the command of Lord Shiva, who is also known as Bhutanatha, the Lord of Bhutas. Invoking his grace is also one of the purposes of this ritual. So in the Bhuta Shuddhi, we told the mantra, the meaning of the mantra is also told, the significance is also given here. Invoking his grace, that is Lord Shiva's grace, is also one of the purpose of this ritual. This is clear from the mantras used for the Bhuta Apasarana. Then we did the Asana Shuddhi, purification of the seat. We have already seen that the purpose of purification is to divinize, and it is only the divine aspect of the thing purified that is prominent in the mind of the worshipper. The mantra used for Asana Shuddhi is a prayer to the earth goddess, Mother Bhumi. O goddess of the earth, all the worlds are supported by you, and you in turn are supported by Vishnu, the all-pervading reality. Please be gracious enough to support me always. May I never move away from your lap. Please purify my seat and make it steady and firm. Please also purify the seat of my heart. So that is the significance and meaning of the purification of the seat, Asana Shuddhi. There is another interesting point to be considered in this connection. According to some, a kind of electric current is usually generated in the body at the time of sadhana. Whether you are doing japa, meditation, or puja or worship, according to some, a kind of electric current is usually generated in the body. One is enjoined to use for worship a seat made out of kusha grass. If you don't get it, it may be ordinary grass. Then with a deer skin, very difficult to get animal skin. So it can be cloth asana can be used on top of it. If one sits on such a, and also in some traditional places they use the wooden asana. The wooden plank will be decorated and it will be nicely used. So that is called asana, the wooden asana. So if one sits on such a seat and one's spine erect, the flow of electricity in the body becomes easy, and the earthing effect, that is the electricity or this thing, if you sit directly on the ground, it will be absorbed into the ground, earth, bhumi, because it is one of the finest earthing thing is bhumi. So the earthing effect through the contact with the ground is avoided. That is the reason we sit on the asana or the wooden things, because for these materials having a high dielectric constant are bad conductors of electricity. That's why we sit on the asana and we purify them. So we have seen the significance of purification of the seat, asana shuddhi. Then we did the kara shuddhi, purification of the hands. This is actually a part of atma shuddhi, that is the purification of the worshipper who is doing the worship. Self purification in puja, among all the limbs of the body, the use of hand is the greatest. This is probably the reason why there is a separate rite for the purification of the hands. It consists in gently crushing a flower which had been besmeared with sandal paste between the two palms and throwing it in the northeastern direction in the prescribed manner. The purpose of this purification is to render the hands fit for sadhana, for the worship. Here, what is the sadhana? What is the spiritual practice discipline? Here is worship. So it is rendered the purpose of this purification is to render hands fit for sadhana, the worship. The mantra is also chanted to purify that. So what is the other, some other significance of this particular thing? There is one tantra Meru Tantra mentions another significance of Karashuddhi. Why do we do this Karashuddhi? It is mentioned in the Meru Tantra. It says that a flower smeared with sandal paste should be gently crushed between the palms, then smelt and thereafter thrown in the northeastern direction, with the mantra which conveys the idea that the flower thus thrown may fall on the heads of the enemies who create obstacles in the path of sadhana or worship, and that they may meet with destruction. The inner meaning of this prayer is that the internal enemies that lurk within the worshipper and obstruct his sadhana may also get destroyed. So now we did all those things, so I give the significance and the deeper meaning of it. Now we will enter, after all the Shuddhis, we have finished now all the Shuddhis. So I gave you a detailed account of what is this purification, process of purification. Now we will go to the next step, that is Vanni Prakara Chinta. The next step is Vanhi Prakara Chinta. What is the meaning of this step? The next step, imagining a wall of fire. That is called Vanhi Prakara Chinta. Now, what is this Vanhi Prakara Chinta? First, I will tell you the significance of this and then go to the proper ritual. Okay. Imagining a wall of fire is the simple meaning. It is mentioned in Tikshna Kalpa or Tararnava. There are scriptures, different tantric scriptures, that is Tikshna Kalpa and the Tararnava, that the worshipper should imagine in the space above his head an envelope of the sun of dawn, embellished by the Bija Mantra Hum. So I told you last time about the Bija Mantra Hum in details. You just can remember that it is used to arouse Kundalini. So by the Bija Mantra Hum, which has arisen out of Rang, that is the red hued Bija Mantra of fire, then you should imagine that this envelope with Bija Mantra Hum is transformed into an impenetrable wall as strong as the thunderbolt, enveloping every direction. All the three worlds are, as it were, filled by the luminosity or radiation emanating from this wall. I will again explain this. Please note it carefully. The process of imagining a wall of fire around you to protect you from all the external obstacles. So this is called Vanhi Prakar Chinta, imagining a wall of fire. So it is given in the Tikshna Kalpa or Tararnava that the worshipper should imagine in the space above his head an envelope of the sun of dawn, embellished by the Bija Mantra Hum, which has arisen out of Ram, the red hued. The color of the Bija Mantra, Agni Bija Mantra, or the fire is Rang or Ram. It is red in color. So Agni Bija Mantra Ram. Then he should imagine that this envelope with Bija Mantra Hum is transformed into an impenetrable wall as strong as the thunderbolt, enveloping every direction around you. All the three worlds are, as it were, filled by the luminosity or radiation emanating from this wall. In this way, the worshipper should imagine a room flooded with light, strong as the thunderbolt and powerful enough to destroy all obstacles. And within that room, he should think of himself as divine and pure with a spotless mind. In simple words, the sadhaka should think of himself as pure, blemishless, and divine. He should think that being well protected within the wall of fire, no evil influence is capable of penetrating it and creating obstacles. So this is the significance, this is the meaning and the process by which we have to imagine, we have to meditate of the wall of fire. I gave you the detail. Please concentrate and focus on that. It is very helpful. Imagining a wall of fire. That is the process that is called Vanhi Prakara Chinta or Vanhi Prakara Chintanam. It is given in English there. So now we shall go to the proper method. Now let me tell you how to pronounce that step. Vanhi. Though you have written Vanhi, it is Vanhi. But in Sanskrit while writing, we have to write Vahni. First ha will come, then na will come. But the rules in Panini grammar is you have to pronounce it as Vanhi. That's why in English we have written it as Vanhi, Vanhi. The pronunciation is Vanhi. But the letter there written according to the Sanskrit grammar, when you write that ha first, just like where we will write in Sanskrit Brahm, it is written as the letter is written as Brahma. But while pronouncing, we will pronounce it as Brahma. Likewise here too, Vahni, it is written there. But we have to pronounce it as Vanhi. So that's why we are telling this Vanhi Prakara Chintanam or Vanhi Prakara Chintanam Chinta. So will you please pronounce it? Vanhi Prakara Chintanam. Again, Vanhi Prakara Chintanam. That is the pronunciation of that step. Meaning of it is simple meaning, imagining a wall of fire. Imagining a wall of fire. Everything is given. The spelling is also correct. So if on the A, when it is put that mark on the head of the A stroke there, that means it has to be elongated. The swara, it is a vowel, and there are two types of that vowel, Hraswa and Dirgha. If there is the stroke on the head of that letter A, it is to be elongated. That is the Dirgha, not Hraswa. If there is no stroke, that means it is Hraswa. 1 unit of time, 1 matra time is to utter that. If that stroke is there, that means 2 unit of time, that is 2 matra time. So it should be Vanhi Prakara Chintanam. Vanhi Prakara Chintanam. That is the pronunciation. Okay. Now we will see how to do it. Uttering the Agni Bija mantra. So what is that? Rang. In South India it is pronounced as Ram. The same thing in North India and Bengal, it is pronounced as Rang. So uttering Rang, that is Agni Bija Mantra. What is Agni? The fire god. So Agni Bija Mantra, the representing single seed mantra is of Agni or fire is Rang. Uttering Rang, throw some water as if in a circle all around you, because you are sitting for worship, around with a big circle around you, just like there is a circle around you. The picture is given there. We have given there in this thing, you can, so that you can imagine around the person, the worshipper, you have to throw water, that sacred water. When you utter the Bija Mantra of the Agni, then really, truly there will be a wall of fire coming which you cannot see. Throw some water as if in a circle all around, and imagine that you are surrounded by a wall of fire, so that no obstacle can approach you. Then in the beginning I gave you what is the other process. You have to imagine first above the sun, the rising sun above your head. Then you have to imagine the Bija Mantra Hum, which is coming. It's a part of the Agni Bija Mantra. Then uttering that Bija Mantra, you will imagine a wall of fire and all the detail I give you just earlier. Okay, 2 times I read that process. I told you the significance also. So now I read the process of it, the Vanhi Prakar Chintanam. Now I shall take you through another aspect, that is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. while he started his spiritual life as a worshipper of Divine Mother Kali. So he used to do the worship. So every step of all this worship, what we are doing, he has done it and shown that it is true. It will take you, it will give you the result, that different purification process. Now this Vaniprakara Chintanam and all other things. So we will go through that process from the life of Sri Ramakrishna, showing us how true all this process of worship is. What would happen in the life when Ramakrishna used to utter the mantra, what was going to happen then. So we shall go through that and see it. Then you will get more faith in this process of worship. Okay, we will go through that. It's very beautiful. What is told in the life of Sri Ramakrishna and the Great Master as explained by Sharadanandaji Maharaj. So it is told that at the time of worship, Ramakrishna got so absorbed in the process of worship that he would be totally unaware of anyone approaching or calling him. He was so focused. The Master himself said, Ramakrishna himself said, and Sharadanandaji Maharaj, one of the direct disciples, heard from Ramakrishna himself. What were the words of Master about this worship, process of worship? The Master said that while performing rituals in the worship, that is Anganyasa, Karanyasa, he actually saw the letters of the mantra in bright colors set in his body. He actually saw the coiled power going up in the form of snake through the Sushumna to the Sahasrara. He felt that the parts of his body left behind by that power at once became still and insensitive and dead to all external appearances. Again, when according to the prescribed method of worship, he uttered the mantra Rang, that is Agni Bija mantra, sprinkled water. So what is this Rang? I told you Agni Bija mantra, actual name of fire or the sound produced by its Shakti, the power of Agni, heard by the yogins. So the power of Agni, what is the sound produced by the power of Agni is that Bija mantra Rang. So the whole power of Agni is hidden, just like the whole tree, big tree is hidden in the seed. Likewise, the power of Agni is hidden in this Bija mantra. So I will again repeat what is that significance of that Bija mantra Rang, actual name of fire or the sound produced by its Shakti, the power, heard by the yogins. How is it heard? The Agni mantra Rang. That's why we use that mantra. So that Bija mantra has a power. So Ramakrishna used to see, when he used to repeat, he uttered the mantra according to the prescribed method of worship. He uttered the mantra Rang, sprinkled water all around himself and imagined a wall of fire, that is the Vaniprakara Chintanam which we did just now. What would happen? What would he see really? So he imagined a wall of fire existing around the place of worship. He actually saw an impassable wall of fire with hundreds of tongues spread out, protecting the place of worship from all obstacles. Hriday, his attendant and helper, is also close relative, said that other Brahmanas, the Sanskrit scholars and the Purohitas, seeing his mind quite absorbed and body shining all over with a resplendent luster, said to one another, "It is as if Vishnu himself has assumed a human body and has sat down to worship." So when Ramakrishna himself used to worship, and whatever experience he used to get while he was worshipping, he himself has told from his mouth, and that is recorded by Sharadanandaji Maharaj in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. I explained that to you just now. So it proves that all the process which we are doing now in the worship, if done properly with concentration and devotion, you can properly see all those things. The yogins have seen and they have made these rituals. So if you do it properly with great devotion, you can also have that same experience. And Ramakrishna, while doing that, he had experienced everything. And so all these things which are given here are true. It is not just imagination of some people, but it was the experience of the seers and the saints and the sages, which has been formed or put into the form of rituals and given to us as worship. And Ramakrishna has verified that he has performed that worship and got the result, and he used to see all those things. I explained about it. So now we have got so much of faith. Yes, all these modes of worship, the processes, the parts are true. So now we can learn and do the worship with more vigor and faith. So I think now we have completed our time. We have done the mantra shuddhi, and next the Vaniprakara Chintanam. I have given you all the details. Now the important thing is I had announced that the live chat will be enabled for the viewers, and if you have any questions or doubts, you could type it there. But I think don't have any questions. I don't see any questions in the live chat. Maybe people have not got any doubts or questions today. So we shall close this discussion with the mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.